Hi there, I'm Clark Macbeth. I am a candidate for state senate in Minnesota and also an American citizen. I was born in Corpus Christi, Texas, and have been pinballing the country because my dad had a white-collar job in the fossil fuel industry. He was a chemical engineer and had a hand in some of the gadgets that were made for you. Here is my message to you as a citizen, as your boss, as someone in the nation you serve. You absolutely must disobey unlawful orders coming from anyone who claims to have authority over you, whether it is your direct superior, whether it is Pete Hegseth, or Donald Trump himself. Donald Trump has himself expressed his desire to give a lot of unlawful orders and has expressed his desire to terminate the Constitution by saying that plainly in 2022. Your loyalty is not to Donald Trump. It is not to Pete Hegseth. It is not to the America you want. It is to the America that is, and that is your job. And the best part is, your refusal will mostly stay out of the public spotlight. It is not something that civilian courts can have. It is not something the media can look at directly. It is not something that the Supreme Court can say, well, it is, but according to my fee-fees and a doctrine I made up, it suddenly isn't. It is out of the hands of the most corrupt people in Washington, Republican and Democrat. Your oath is to the Constitution of the United States and nothing else. The reason I call you guys my subjects, why I say I'm your boss, is because of the first three words of the Constitution. You should know this if you are in the military. Otherwise, you shouldn't be. We the people. Trump and everyone who has gifted him and handed him all of his entire life has had nothing but contempt for that. And that includes you as well. And that is exactly why he is throwing a massive tantrum against everyone, pointing out the very thing you signed up for, one of the first forms you did sign, that your oath, your job, your loyalty, your boss is the Constitution and defending it, and everything else is secondary, including the people that want you to destroy it. If you do that, if you're okay with that, then I don't see you as a member of the military. I don't care how much camouflage you're wearing. If you're going to put Trump over the Constitution, then it is strongly implied in that entire document, and in some lines directly pointed out, that I do have a right to fight back against that verbally and physically. It's in the Third Amendment. It's in the First Amendment. If you don't feel any need to respect that, then I am simply not going to respect you or any cosplay you would like to put on. Because at that point, your uniform's not real, your rank is fake, and there will be consequences further down the line. I mean, if you look at the reporting of all the major news outlets about what is being covered and what isn't by all the sources, you do a bit of this, stick it in the air, you'll notice that the winds are shifting because of the coming end of the Epstein crisis. I assure you that I am not alone, and that I personally have people that I know in my life who will absolutely disobey unlawful orders. So what does that mean? Well, let's say you're being called to invade Los Angeles. This already happened, by the way. You're called to invade Los Angeles, and your orders are to beat down anyone who shows any disagreement against the president. Transparently unconstitutional, and that's exactly why that didn't happen from the National Guard. If you love America in any way, shape, or form, then that energy must continue and be amplified throughout the entire military. That means if there are orders to commit acts of violence against people who are just completely innocent and are indeed exercising their constitutional rights as are spelled out to them, you must refuse. You must tell your commanding officer, I'm going to refuse, preferably with your weapon still on you, and that you're going to tell everyone in your division to do the same. You're going to encourage it. It's all going to happen at once. If there's any unlawful order, and Trump has already given them, and there have already been refusals, you must follow through on the example set in Los Angeles, because the violence from law enforcement did not come from the National Guard at all. They just did not do anything to the protesters. That was all ICE, and they are more likely to be executed than anyone you personally hate. But you're in the military, right? So whatever you personally hate, whatever you have a personal grievance against, that all gets set aside for lawful orders. And in order for an order to be lawful, it has to respect the Constitution. And it's a pretty easy read. I've done it on this channel already. And I'm not really saying that as a brag. I'm merely pointing that out because I have a link to that in the description if you need a refresher. Donald Trump is a man who doesn't work. He is a man who has spent a whole lifetime refusing to do any kind of work that involves any kind of personal growth, and it shows with his words and actions and with the contradictions of his words and actions day after day. He's just not fit for the job, and he has personally stated that he doesn't like the Constitution and wants to get rid of it and do something else in his image. So everything coming down from the Commander-in-Chief must be taken with multiple shakers of salt. I would also like to point out that the Constitution gives you a right to fight back against the president himself. Not physically, but definitely in words. Unless, of course, he wants to quarter in my house as the Commander-in-Chief, I will personally take it upon myself to enforce the Constitution, and that will be it. I look forward to seeing a bunch of comments from cosplayers who pretend to be in the military but are not. As for everyone else, as always, subscribe if you like, and share if you care about America at all and its citizens. Its people. The boss of the Commander-in-Chief and thus the military and everything else.